All right, back for another one. Streaming. Well, actually, not streaming. My voice is all messed up. I caught something. Well, last night was rough. I had to get a hotel room 'cause it was bad. My throat was hurting. So apparently it was some 24-hour thing. I hope. But I can hear it in my voice how it's changed. Okay. Um, what was I doing anyway? I started messing around with this and I thought, well, I might as well record it. Oh, that's what it was. So I revealed the map. I'm right here by the treasure, and I couldn't remember how to go back to the regular view to hide the map. So, the heck is all that at? Let's go find it. Oh, where's all the? Where would that be at? Would it be in player? No, that's just moving. What would it be under? Where would I logically put that code to handle the keys? Probably in game. Game or world. That's where it should be. So I've got keys to find here. This, it turned out I wasn't using these because I was going to buffer the keystrokes, and I never got around to doing that. And it doesn't look like I really need to at this point, but maybe later I will. But I need to take that out. Um, okay, here we go. Okay, S. Oh, it's Z. Z. Okay, so let's go back to here. So let's just do Z. Okay, there we go. S, Z. So the treasure's hidden. It's right there. So the problem was the traps weren't activating. So if I go left, and I know why, because we didn't put the code in there. Let's go see. Entity. So actions happen when you go in a certain direction, when you're moving. That's when it's checking everything. Um, so here we're eating food. At first it's checking. See, it moves you onto the space, and that way you can just check the player's position. And then if nothing happens, you can back out of that right here. So it checks for wall or monster. If it's not a wall or monster, then you're eating food, getting treasure, and we did not put that in there. Else, here we're making a double check here. We don't need to do that. At some point, we need to come back through here and optimize this stuff or refactor. This is the kind of stuff as you, if you're a junior or new to the development world, you want to get rid of this stuff, this kind of duplication. But right now it doesn't really matter. We are doing other things. Um, okay. So attacking the monsters. So at this point, I used to have code in here to where, because you can have a lot of different monsters on screen. And we're going to end up going through these. Get the one that you're actually engaged with and do whatever you guys are doing, attacking each other. But that is going to be inside of what would you call it, a battle system or um, yeah, I guess so, battle system. That's not even in there yet. But for treasure, I'm about to go at it from the left, right there. So I'm at the right. I'm going to go in on the left. So let's go edit the left. Because right now it's not going to do anything. So this is up, right, down. Notice I'm going clockwise with all that. Left. Okay, at this point, see this? The get keys. I'm taking the third one. 0, 1, 2, 3. That little array I showed you earlier with the keys, where I said I wasn't buffering. I'm pretty sure those aren't being used, but I'd have to look at this code. I don't really want to go spelunking at this point. Let's see. Treasure, food. Okay, so it'll be right here. Right now it's not doing anything. So I could have swore I put some kind of code in here. Was it in up? No. See, this is what's going to overwrite the trap. Well, actually, it's not even being shown. But if we did it on that map where we were showing everything, it would replace it with a floor tile. Okay, here it is right here. I knew I put some kind of trap thing in here. Okay. This is it going from the up. We can't do this from the up position. Let's copy this over to the left. I can't go at it from the up position because I think there's a wall down there. Let's just do this. Whoops. Oh wait. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that? Did that even get triggered? Okay, it's in an else. I was thinking it was inside this. So it's on an else right here. Okay, right here. So yeah, that's right. Let's put it there. Alright, so it should work, but I gotta recompile now. Let's go ahead and put this on each of them. Now it's important here. See, when you hit a monster, you are going to undo the move because, you're not actually on top of the monster. So you got to go back. On a trap, it's different. So this is not going to be, you don't want this to happen after a trap. But it's not devastating if it does because actually you could, it still works because imagine yourself next to the trap. You go into the trap, it fires off, and now you're back to where you was. You're not going to actually see that. So it actually works. And then after that, you could actually go across. Now that's something we need to test. Once you trigger a trap and you're bounced back to where you was, can you go back in there without setting a trap again? Let's test that. At this point, because if you do trigger the trap, we need to take it off the off the screen buffer. Because remember, that's the source of truth for the whole map. We don't we don't edit that one, but I still don't like the idea of editing that, even with traps. Hmm. Okay, let's just see if we can get this going here. Let's go ahead and get out of this. Quit that. Let's see, build it. And let's go. All right, let's find a trap. Do we have a trap anywhere? Here we go, right there. Let's go. All right, we're coming in from left. Nothing. Okay, so let's go take a look. If nothing's happening, that means it never got to that part of the code. And look at all this right here. So we're actually on the trap. It's not a wall, it's not a monster. Oh, crap. That means it's going in here. No wonder. Because remember, we're actually on the trap where it's at. And it does not equal a wall, and it does not equal a monster. So yeah, it's the code path's going in here instead of the else. Okay, so we could add another trap here for that, or we can do it in here. Hmm. So with the monster, we're going to have a whole battle system in here. Probably not in here, but there'd probably be some kind of class. But I may just keep this else for the attacking monsters instead of traps. So let's move this up into here. There. But let me see here. Okay, this will actually work. This does manipulate the screen. It turns it back to a floor, which makes sense. The trap shouldn't be there again. So let's go ahead and put it here. Doesn't go there, doesn't go there. It goes here. So this is test code. We're actually going to have a method there. So at this point, it should pick it up now. Let's go back to that. Go ahead and run that. If we can come into it through the left. Dang, I should have just went ahead and changed all those. Let me move all these into that. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Never mind. I saw this and I thought it was the same code as this here. Alright, let's go set our traps to all these other directions. Right there too. Just trying to do laundry today before I leave the hotel, but they don't have quarters. I'm $1 shy of enough. Okay, where am I at? Right here? Yep. Just do that, do this. Alt tab and build up arrow, enter. Ta-da. And let's go here. Press enter. Boom. We are on. Press S. Where's our trap? All the way down here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Ooh, I found gold. All right, we're going to come from the up position here. Oh, you hit a trap. All right. So the code is working, but oh wait. I could have swore something happened there after I did that trap. Like it couldn't go up or something. Let's get that. Now I got to test it again. Okay. I need a restart. All right, let's check it out. All right, it's down there. Let's head that way. Test that again. So we're going to come from the up. Now let's do it without the map here. So you can't see the trap. It's directly above me. Bam, you hit a trap. So look at this. The player disappears. I remember this now from a couple videos ago when I first added them, I think, or somewhere in there. And that is because, take a look at this. All right, where's our code at? So we came from up. So it hit this, and then it came down here, and it just printed a floor. Now what did we do? We're in an if. We skip out of the else, and then it starts processing all this too, which doesn't work because we've already done a direction. And then it comes, let's see, after here, comes down here to this. So screen plus px equals player here. Okay, y. It's got to be in this. You got it did move. So it sets it to floor, which it already was. That removes the trap. This here. The fog of war screen is actually what we see on the screen. Okay. Now this is using old PX. Floor, where's old at? Where are we going? Okay, right here. Old PX. That's the original. Yeah, okay. So this sets where you was. So remember when we're right here, we've already moved. So we're on the trap. And we moved say, I don't know, from above it. So one space above it. We do all this, and then here it goes back to one space above it and sets it to floor. And then we come out of all that, go to here. This is the actual PYPX, which is on the trap. That should print the player. Fog of War screen should print the player there too. So at some point, this is not hitting. And I don't know why. So let's go back to the map. But once we move, now it appears again. But look how it's been hidden. I'm going to move down. See? So that's overriding it. There's perpetual code in there. So the trap isn't actually being shown. So if I do S, the trap is gone now and I can move in there normal. But with Fog of War, doesn't show it. So it's something to do, there's a discrepancy between Fog of War buffer and the screen buffer. So let's press Q, get out of that. And let's go see what's going on with it. It has something to do with the trap code. And you could see that it was removed from the screen buffer, which I'd rather just keep them on there and use a vector array to keep the coordinates of what you've hit and whatnot, I think. Oh, hold on. It's undoing the move. Look at this. Oh no, that's after monster. Oh, wait a minute. Why did I put the trap right there? Look at that. It's got two pieces of code here. I did not delete that. That is not good. Let's go back. Make sure they're all good. I mean, that's not the problem, but yeah, this shouldn't be here either. Okay. All right, so I've got to be missing something here. I'm staring at this and got to be missing something. Oh, wait a minute. No. For one thing, this all needs to be else's. Let's do else's on all this. We don't need to be testing every time. There. That is a waste. So we got that. Let's go ahead and do these two. This is something you could tell your AI agent to do. Throw it off on him. Hey, put else's on these. Inside the little key code. Put it in there. Okay, so we've hit the trap. Whoa. You know, the only reason I saw that is because it was a different color. It should have been purple. But it would have compiled error. Okay, so we do this. Overwrite old position. Okay. We are now on the trap. It's this FOW screen. So both maps now, where I was is a dot for a space. Did move equals true. We now collapse through all this. And now we're checking right. Go through all this. And then we update player position, which is right on the trap. It should be a player. Fog of war screen. All of them should be player now. And then if did move, we did move, yes. Okay. No. And then it ends. Then we go back and process keys again. Let's go back in here. So we are using these. Where are they being they should go back to 0 though, after you process those. Where was we at? Entity. Save that. Yeah, these should be reset, I think. Somewhere they got to be being reset because, I mean, they're not all locked in at 1. If they're all 1s, we'd never move. So I'm going to presume that somewhere I am setting these back to 0. And it's not important enough right now to go look. All right, so I guess we could debug it at this point. Not debug, but step through it. Let's do that. I guess we'll have to. All right, I got those if else's in there. Let's go ahead and build that. Where's my Visual Studio? All right, so what we're going to do is, where's it at? Continue without code. Did I already have one in here? Nope. Let's go here. Your version is no longer supported, really? Are you serious? I don't want to update. 2026, not yet. Alright, where am I at? There. Well, I sure don't want Server Explorer. Where's my Windows? Where are they? View. I guess this is it. Oh, that's the one solution. I have no solution. So, let's load this up. Where's your code at? Folder workspace file. I've already forgotten how to do it. Okay, I know I need to attach, so let's run this and attach it. Actually, I did the wrong one. We need the CPP file, not the exe. Where is my CPPs? Oh, I got a bunch of them. Good grief. 1, 2, 3. I know there's more than that. 4. Is that all of them? World game, fog of war, entity, caverns. There. Okay, open those. All right, we got all that stuff. Now let's run it and attach. Run that. Okay, we are there. Now, one thing. Oh, look at this. There's a dot. Why is that dot there? Oh, you know what? That's a trap. I'll bet you that's a trap. We just found something. Yep. See the trap right there? Yep. That's it. So there's definitely definitely something wrong with the trap code. Okay, so we got it running. The problem is we need to stop it so we can actually step through this thing. So let's attach. Where are you at? Caverns. And I did already build with debug symbols, so let's go to our, where's our key code at? Is it game? Yeah. Keys. Where is it? Actually, let's go to entity. We'll just go inside here on update. Let's set it on one of these. So there, that one, this one. Actually, I don't want to do that. This is going to trigger on every single move. We just want to do it on treasure right there. Or trap. Now the final one should be left there. All right, that's it on that. Okay, so let's go back to here. See if we can trigger this. So we know our trap's here. Let's go down there. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, here we go. Right there. So there we are. We're going to go through that. Let's go ahead and step through. What are my little thingies here? Step into, step over. Let's go ahead and step into. So that's F11. Step over is F10. Okay, let's do it F11. Man, I hope the keyboard. Do I have to press the function key to get F11? Ah, yes. Why did they do that? It should default to the F11, not the little symbol that it represents here. Okay, so function F11. That is not doing anything. Do I have focus? Okay, there it goes. I shouldn't have to press function and F11. I don't like that. All right, let's go through this. And just step over these. Clear info section. Yeah, we don't need to dig into that. Let's go to that. So we printed our line. Well, not yet, but back in here. Okay, now we're out of it, so still didn't do it. Okay, so screen. Old PX is 30. 21. Because we went what? Right. So PY is 21. 20. PX is 30. What's the original PX on this? 31. Okay, yeah. So old PX is 30, new PX is 31. So we're setting the old position to a floor. Now, if we look at the screen, it should be a T on there. If we look right here, we should actually see that somewhere. Of course, we can't tell what the crud is going on with this. Let me see that. Well, here's the player, and there's the trap. I can't tell if that's actually. Remember, it's all one string. I can't tell if that's actually that coordinate. I imagine it is. Yeah, it won't adjust either. Yeah, take word wrap off. Oh well, I guess we needed that, didn't we? All right, but yeah, I don't want to count down on those. All right, so I'm going to just say that that's where it's at. Um, so now let's execute this one. Now it should equal a tie or a floor. So let's go back and view that. Not fog of war, but screen. Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. It actually did the old, or it did the player. See how the player's gone now? It was right there. That's wrong, I believe. So we're not doing the trap. We did the player. What are we doing here? Old. Yeah, because we did old. Dang it. Okay, I know what it is. I know what the problem is now. So we need to do this for the trap. I thought it was gonna. I thought the code in there would handle it, but it's not. See, that's where I thought this code down here would handle it. This right here, because this is where the player is. So let's keep going. So we're going to do the same thing with fog of war. This is correct. Did move. Yes, we did. And let's keep going. That should be a no. Get keys, return keys. Okay, blah, blah. Same with left. Let's go over these. So now we're at the player position here. Now remember this, the old position was already um, done. So this is where the actual trap is because the player was on that. So PX31, Y21, this is our player position. 21, 31. So the player, that should be set to player instead of a trap. So if we look at screen, we should see our T here. Now that should turn to a big O for the player. So let's do that. Skip over that. Let's go to our view. So that worked. This is working. So the error is somewhere else. But from what we see, there's a problem with what we see though too. Remember the dot when we first started? So let's go here. That fog of war. So let's look at our fog of war screen. See that right there? Gotta love this. See, this is what we actually see here. Remember, it's all hidden. Remember that? On the other screen, we're showing everything, but we do see a player there. So we know the player's on the screen there. 31-21. The 79 is the ASCII value, I believe, a big O. Okay, so I'm thinking our problem, let's go ahead and stop all this. The problem is somewhere in the manipulation of that. Look at this. So if we go back, so tab, whoops. So let's start again. See, this is our big sign here. So let's go figure out why that's being done like that. So let's look at the code where where we set the trap. That's going to be the problem area. Let's go here. Where are we actually doing it? In the world? Update info, blah, blah. We need something like set trap or something. Whatever that is. Place food, place treasure. Should be a place trap. There we go. Right here. Set tile here. So we are doing that. Oh, here we go. We got trap location. So we are using a vector to keep track of the locations. We're not doing anything of that right now. But remember I was talking about keeping track of them? Looks like I implemented that. But instead of a pair, I might go ahead and do it where it's, I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep track of the trap or just override it. I think overriding is probably better. So set tile at, and let's back up here, right here. So it's doing it on the screen. Okay, I know what this is. So we must not have, Fog of War looks at all this and sets it to floors or sets it to disappear. So that's where it's at. So let's go to Fog of War. FOW screen, draws the border, blah blah, skips over the player. And FW covers what we want because that's a blank. See? So it blanks out everything except that. So somewhere in here it's seeing the T. Let me see here real quick. Okay, it's on the FOW screen. Oh, wait a minute. No, I should be covering everything. So that means it's getting overwritten later, which I know it will overwrite it in the entity when we move, but it's showing up before we even move. So let me see the radius here. It can't be. It's got to be in here where it's, but there's no way it's skipping. That's the problem. Because it's not the player. Because this is the initialization. I can't imagine it would be something in here. Because this just copies what else is on screen. You know, to give the little view, you know, one or two dots out. That's what we're doing. That's what the rings are. This is one space away from the player, which that has nothing to do with it because that trap is way off somewhere else. So I don't think it's not confusing it with player, so it's not just skipping it. So that means it's done later on. All right, let's trace through this. Let's go to game start. Initialize game, run game. Where's initialize game at? Info section, clear info. Number, game cycle, right here. Initialize screen. So the trap is a T. It's something to do with a trap though. It's not this. Okay, this is interesting. Well, this is it right here. It's showing it as a floor instead of the FW cover. Here it is, right there. So, where's that being done at? It's in the ring. So you have to ring two. That's what's happening. And then it goes through the traps. Alright, so this, instead of a floor, I don't know why I did floor, because I'm not on screen. Let's change this to trap. Trap locations first there, and we are in fog of war, screen width plus trap locations. First, second, okay. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's build it. Let's do that. Go back here. Caverns. Okay, we don't have the dot anymore, but we do have a T. So, we do have a T. So it's definitely in our fog of war. So we were in the code. Let's go back to that code. Now we need to see where this is being called at. Well, this is being called every time though. Fog of war. That's the main. That's our view. So, so it's definitely this here. Oh wait, why did I do that? It's not trap. I just did another bug without even. Should be fog of war blank or something like that. Yeah, fog of war cover. Oops. grief. So let's do that. Fixed a bug with another bug. Huh. Okay, let's do it. Let's do that. Okay, so at least that's fixed. So let's do our original problem now. Let's find our trap. Let's go over here. Okay, we're coming from down, so let's remove the map. Okay, so we changed it with cover. See, that's the problem there. This is the problem. I forgot now. See, we set it to space because we wanted it to look right in the fog of war ring. So this is a problem. So this is a problem with design. Um, so what we would need here, let's look at this. Let's get out of this. We need to know if it's been set or not. And I'm so tempted just to throw another parallel array in there. Okay, I don't know how to do this in C or C++. Let me see what I'm doing. In JavaScript, we just have our object, and we can just throw something else in that object. Because in JavaScript, we just say, something equals boom, boom, and you got an object. Bam. Put anything you want in there, blah, blah. But here, I've got to use some kind of class. Okay, so my gut feeling is I don't need to be running this right here. I don't like that. So I'm going to separate that out. It shouldn't be in the ring code because we should just be copying everything here. But I want to keep the views different. So in the screen, it should be a T, but at Fog of War, it should not. Now, the problem I have with this is outside the ring space. This is way off. It shouldn't even be there. The problem is it still needs to be hidden. If it was within 1 or 2, the Fog of War actual view, then it's still going to show up as a T. That's where we need it to actually be hidden there. So it all happens to be in Fog of War. This does not need to be here. So we're going to have to take this out. But I also don't want to go through a hide trap on every single one of these. But I might have to for now. If I get rid of this, it it fixes itself, that problem. Um, I mean, it won't be the space instead of. It's still gonna be wrong. That's what I mean. Um, because it just, well, actually this should fix it. It shouldn't show anything now. But hold on a minute. Let's go ahead and compile this because it should fix the view problem on this. But we still have a problem when we come into view. So if we go, because it's going to show the T. Let me see here. Where's my thing? Yes. Come on. Okay, so our trap. Do we have a trap? I don't see a T. Oh, there it is right there. So if we come down here, get that money. All right, so right there, press Z. See, we still see it because it's within our field of view. That's the problem. If we back out, well, we can still see it because once it's on there, it's on there. It doesn't change. Um, we hit the trap. But it does work now. At least it shows a space and not a blank. But I did hit the trap. That puts us in a better space. It's just not fixed yet. Because the whole problem was I didn't want to see the trap. So, and I remember that was the problem from a while back ago. But, um, trying to get my laptop centered here. That was the problem we had. So I think I'm going to have to do it on the radius. That's where we're going to have to fix it. I'm going to call this one at this point. It's gone on too long. Um, I might come back in here. I got to go grab a cup of coffee and go ahead and do another one of these. Go ahead and fix it again. All right, that's the end of this video. Join me next time as we actually make the fix. Yay. All right, like, subscribe, share, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.